Lock it up. But hey, welcome everyone. I don't know if that's the best way for me to start the show each time.
I think it's good. I think it's nice. You always start with like the song that you have stuck in your head,
Yeah.
and then you go into the show.
I guess. I guess I'm pretty predictable. Welcome everyone to Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is the Woos and What's of AEW Dynamite. We just finished AEW Dynamite
We just
seconds ago.
Quake at the lake.
Quake at the lake. Quake at the lake. Thank you all so much. Anyone who wants to join the Discord, reach out to loserleavespod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Gmail.
Look, reach out and we'll send you the
Honestly,
link.
I haven't even checked the emails, so I should probably check the email.
You know what? I'm going to check right now as we get
no spoilers. Make it seem like there's a whole bunch, even though there may not be,
Yeah, of course.
We have Turbs in the chat already.
Turby's here.
LL Dub. Awesome. Bless you, Turbs.
Awesome. Bless you.
Brett, is Brett in our Discord?
Brett's not in our Discord.
Turbs, email loserleavespod. Oh, what? Maybe that's why they're not doing it, because they don't want to be put on the email list, Roy.
Oh, well, we don't have anything to email you, so
just so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All I can say is that we have 609 unread emails. I'm not going to say who they're from, but I'm going to say we have 609 unread emails.
It's our sponsors. They're mad. We have to start talking about this damn show, Roy. We have to. How you feeling, by the way?
I feel, I'm not going to actually sue. I won't sue my chiropractor. I won't. But today I went to the chiropractor and I said, hey, I'm still having these issues with my ribs. So really, if you can just focus on my neck, it's been a little stiff, my shoulders, that would be great. And I didn't have my normal person. I had this other guy and he was like, no problem. Didn't listen to me, beat the shit out of me, hurt me so badly. And at one point, like, he did something to me and I audibly went like, ugh! Like I made like a horrible noise and he was like, oh yeah, it's probably pretty intense, right? I was like, yeah, my ribs hurt. You hurt me. And then as I was trying to get up, he was like, take your time, from getting up off the table. I was like slowly getting up and I think he meant it to like help me, but he just kind of pushed my back and like jolted me up. It was bad.
It sounds like he's picking on you.
Yeah, it does feel that way. It feels like he was picking on me a little bit.
I'm not saying anything, but you should know your rights. You should.
Well, yeah, this is the third time that I've gone to them, and they've made this injury worse in some ways. So I don't.
You got it. I would. Those personal injury attorneys, free consult. You don't pay unless they make money, Roy. Just saying.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm okay. I'm coughing less. I think I might, fingers crossed, knock on wood, be coming out on the other side of my cough.
That's great to hear.
Slow and steady wins the race over here.
Well,
how are you?
We'll take what we could get. I'm doing okay. I actually have a lot of good things. Somewhere in there.
All right.
Somewhere in there. A lot of good things, but a lot of peppercorns.
Hey, it's all.
I bit a few peppercorns. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's one of those. Sometimes you're just eating something, get a peppercorn. We got Brett saying, let me hit the email, baby. Awesome. Love to hear it. Tony, boom.
Tony,
hit the email.
Discord.
God damn
email
it, Tony.
us. Get in the Discord.
And we're not going to use you for a mail list. We're just not going to do it. Loserleavespod@gmail. Loserleavespod@gmail. Brett says, I had some complaints about the show, but the last half hour made it all okay.
Interesting.
We'll talk about it.
We'll get into it. I thought this was a great show.
Woodsy the Beast says, could be a Larry Nassar situation. Larry Nassar. Is that a personal injury attorney?
That might be a personal injury attorney.
Could be a Larry Nassar situation. That must be his commercial. Hey, everyone, we have to start talking about wrestling before we lose our minds. Are you looking up Larry Nassar?
Yeah, he's a convicted serial child molester. But he did go to osteopathic medicine. So
Woodsy, why is it a Larry Nassar situation? Okay, we have to keep moving on.
Oh yeah, this is heavy. Yeah, we got to keep rolling. We got to get.
You got to get out of here. Jesus, Woodsy.
Hey, I felt great about this show. I thought the show was a lot of fun, and I think was it Vince McMahon? God rest his soul. Was it Vince McMahon who said competition is good for business? Because I got to tell you, last few weeks of Dynamite, heat's been turned up.
Oh, yes. Triple H is this one that's going to change wrestling. Already has. Already has. Already
All
has.
right.
Already has. It's becoming more and more apparent every single time we talk about it. Let's start the show off. JR's here early.
Yeah, which I don't
JR,
love.
Don't love it. JR woke up from his nap a little too early. They tried to trick him by changing all the clocks back. That's why he's been missing the hour. He thought there's a new daylight savings. But now he's woke up early, got cranky.
It's a long night for JR. If he's also going to be on Rampage, it's just a long night for him.
Hopefully he's not going to be on Rampage. I think it could be one or the other. You know, he can't do 3 hours back to back.
Yeah.
But we start off the night with Brody King versus Darby Allin.
Yeah.
What a fucking match that was.
This was my favorite Coffin match. This is the third Coffin match. And by the way, and not because I'm an AEW fan, but I think Coffin match sounds better than Casket match. Casket's like kind of soft. Coffin, tough.
Honestly, I get what you're saying, but Casket sounds nicer. Like Casket match.
It's a Casket match.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, I'm not sharing the audio.
Oh yeah, you gotta share your audio.
I've been having dogs barking this entire time. Oh man, Roy.
No, Coffin.
You are fake news.
It's a Coffin match.
But it was a great match.
Yeah. It was.
Well, let's go through it a little bit. Thumbtack board at the start, of course.
You know what? I've never seen before, and it was so gnarly, and I loved it. He had the thumbtack stuck in his belly.
Yeah. And one of the thing is, like, I usually hate the thumbtack board because he usually does it for no reason, but this match warranted it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had 3 encounters, and this is the third one. Let it be special now.
Yeah. And like David versus Goliath, he's got to do whatever he can to try to beat. And Brody is actually surprising at just how good he is at being a big, scary, unstoppable force. Like, and maybe it's partially because of his appearance, because he just looks like a big, mean motherfucker on top of his size. But man, he's really good in this role. And him and Darby clearly have great chemistry together.
One of what he does that Eric Rowan could never actually do.
Be intimidating.
Be expressionless.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, like, Eric Rowan's always snarling and gargling and making, like, you know, but
forced.
Like Brody King is just like that. You know, he is a killer. Killers do that.
He really
looks
like a fucking killer.
Yeah. But the lights go out during there. We get Buddy and Malachi showing up. Julia grabs Darby's leg. They start beating him up together. They're about to throw him in the casket, but you know who's in there? You know who's in that coffin?
Stinger.
Takes a while to get up. What he does.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like, you know, that's the only problem with this casket just being on the ground as opposed to being elevated next to the ring, is that it takes Sting a little bit of time to get up.
It should be on a tilt, you know?
Yeah, something.
Like kind of like Dracula like
when he used to sit up.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But we get Sting beats up everyone for a little bit, hands the bat to Malachi, and just like, come on, let's go.
Dude, let's talk about that real quick. I have an appreciation as someone who's like pretty good at catching things. You're pretty good at catching things too.
Sure.
I have an appreciation for when something is thrown and lands perfectly. Like when Brock Lesnar threw that microphone and Roman Reigns effortlessly caught it. I don't know if you've seen that. It's the greatest thing you'll ever see. It was the best part of SummerSlam. And SummerSlam was good, but this was that good. When he's standing on that giant like pickup truck thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he throws it. And Roman doesn't
good.
even move his hand. Is incredible. But Sting throws the bat and it bounces and the handle lands perfectly in Malachi's lap. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. I just wanted to point that out.
He's a pro. He knows how to. He's a bat guy. You know,
he's a bat guy.
But that encounter, they had that stare down for a little bit, then they walk away and he follows them up the ramp. I don't like these things happening mid-match.
Yeah.
You know, because it's too much, and also there's people killing themselves over there.
Exactly.
And because you're having a really cool, epic stare down, you're taking away. That's something after a match, between matches, something like that. During a match, I don't like it.
Yeah, Sting should have just stayed ringside and waited till the end of the match, potentially, for something like that. But this was so I loved this match. I loved this match until the interference, and then it took me out of it for a second. And I was like, "Is this good? Is this bad?" But the more I think about it, it didn't really disrupt the pacing of the match. I think it was okay.
because they know, because they were refused to lose anyone's attention.
Yeah.
You know, these two were just like immediately like looking the wrong way back over here.
Yeah. And they also built it up perfectly. The crowd chanted for Sting before Sting appeared. Like AEW has done a good job of making sure the audience isn't sick of Sting.
Yeah.
No one is ever sick of Sting. And it's great. It's great to see.
We get them battling still right near the coffin. About to do a power slam off the apron into the casket, but then he sneaks off the back, grabs a chain. Darby hits Brody King in the face and then chokes him the way he was choked. And he does a great job. Brody does his best to like dangle as best he can, but then once he's limp, he lets go and falls perfectly
Excellent.
Brody King. Great
MVP.
job tonight. MVP of the night.
He would have probably gone into the Hall of Fame this week if it wasn't for something else that happened on this show.
Hold on. We'll talk about no spoilers for the Hall of Fame.
I'm just saying, I'm already thinking about it. I got my ballot. I'm filling out my ballot.
We still have a whole news week. CM Punk could do something terrible.
Actually, he
took money from CM Punk, from Vince McMahon. There's more.
CM Punk is also a runner-up compared to the other person I was thinking of, but that's okay. Well, we'll talk about it on Saturday. We're
going to talk about Saturday on the Weekly Wrestle. We may have. Let's do a special thing of the Weekly Wrestle. If someone thinks of something, say it. Yeah. Say like a thing like you want the 10 best of. Or,
the 10 best of. Yeah, give us something, anything. I'll do the research.
Roy's good with the research. Now we go on, and I missed this part because my dad called, but it was Moxley talking about being the champ, Chris Jericho. How was it?
It was as good as any other Moxley promo you're gonna see in the back. Meaning good. It was good. Moxley's Moxley, man, and Moxley, as crazy as it sounds, he's underappreciated. Ultimately.
Oh yeah, I definitely think so.
Totally underappreciated.
Woodsy the Beast says JR had a decent night at least. Did he?
He had an okay night. He said a couple of things.
There was a few things that I wrote them down. They were so rough. But we'll see, Woodsy. I appreciate thank you so much, though, Woodsy. I appreciate it. Brett says, it's so sick to be a wrestling fan right now. Raw and SmackDown have been so fun, which I could not say at all a month ago. And we're getting some of our favorite AEW guys back. Yeah. What a great time. Yeah. Great time. Yeah. Brett says, Brody King looks like he makes the music he does. That's true. Yeah. That's fair.
100%.
Very scary. Metasunbro's in the chat.
Metasunbro, send us an email. Send us an email so you can be part of the Discord.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Metasunbro. Oh, I think you said Metasunbro did send us an email.
No.
loserleespod@gmail.com. We're not going to spam you.
We won't. We just have to send you a link.
Brett says, it's Sting.
That's good.
And then Brett says, so stupid, haha. Terb says, it's as if they want us to believe Sting's paint is what his skin looks like.
Well, that's what I think is really funny. It's like, oh, because Malachi sprayed him with the black mist, now he has his eye painted. But it's like, did it affect his hand? So now his hand has to do that on his skin?
No.
He's possessed?
He's possessed.
Yeah. He's a little bit possessed.
He's just a little possessed.
Yeah.
I thought actually I didn't even think of that. I thought it was in response to Darby Allin, but that makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, the announcer said it.
I missed it. Carlos Lozada's in the chat.
Carlos,
welcome,
send us an email.
Yeah, send us an email, Carlos. Punk just saved AEW. Well, we don't. Well, yeah, he did save it. He saved slugs. It didn't save it. They were on upper. They were on an upper. They were doing a lot better after Forbidden Door.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, Carlos, but let's all take it easy.
You better calm down, Carlos, before Roy really gets angry. You better be careful.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Brett says commentary is a little rough tonight all around. Yeah, I thought so. I agree.
Excalibur has never had an off night.
Yes, he has.
He's the best announcer in wrestling by far
right now. But but he has had a rough night. I've definitely had him have nights where he's like, he must have had too much coffee and he's just bumbling over his words.
Or he was just carrying the weight of 3 commentators.
Hey, you know what? When you're the quarterback, sometimes you're gonna be looking more eyes or whatever. I don't know. It's sports. No, but when you're the quarterback, you're the one who's throwing the ball, so you take all the blame. Yeah. Sorry, guy.
Yeah. It's your fault.
You're gonna be like, oh well, that towel boy didn't show up today. That's Jim Ross. We have Woodsy the Beast says 10 best build up to a return for Dexter Lumis return. Build ups to a return. for Dexter Lumis.
10 best. Do you want to do 10 best buildups or just 10 best returns?
But no, I think Woodsy wants buildups to a return.
Buildups to a return. That's a tough one. Dexter
That's
Lumis.
tough.
You know who's not going to make the list?
Dexter Lumis. Honestly, though, did you see his return?
I thought it happened after the. I watched the first 2-ish hours of Raw on and off. The women are great. I thought Tommaso and Lashley had a good match. Lashley was doing things I've never seen him do before, which was cool.
All I got to say is Triple H, whoever you hired to like hire your writing staff, does an impeccable job. Absolutely understated. They have such good taste in writers for WWE that they would probably pick someone that's like a fan, would love to participate, like just wants to do, you know.
Have you submitted your application yet?
Oh, whoa. What are you talking about? We have to continue on with the show. We got some things here.
Oh my God.
We got a clean shaven Chris Jericho. Clean shaven Chris Jericho in the back. Looks a lot younger. Looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
His hair
good.
Really worked that hairline. They really worked it to death.
Really tried hard.
A lot of Crayola markers in there.
Oh, take it easy. Take it easy. He's doing okay. He's over 50.
Yeah. Get a haircut, man. What can I tell you?
Hey, Lionheart had long hair, you know.
Wear a wig. Then we get a tornado tag match, Roy.
Oh,
tornado tag, which I love the idea that they're just calling it a tornado tag rather than lying to us. So like at the beginning, Justin Roberts like, this is a tornado tag match where the tags do not matter. I'm just like, when have they ever?
Well, there were no tags. He didn't
ever?
say the tags don't matter. He just said they're both in the ring at the same time. First of all, second of all, you're gonna tell me. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell me. That you enjoyed this match more because of the tornado tag rules.
Oh no! I didn't like the match. I just thought I felt
like
it was
this
more honest.
match.
I felt it was more honest. No, I didn't dislike the match. I thought it was a good match. It was a good match. But the issue with this type of match is that you couldn't describe it. No one in the world could describe it. It's literally, they just went back and forth forever until it ended, because that's all it was. There was no story. There was no build. There was
there was build.
Okay, you're right. You're right. They know how to build up tension, but it's just like, man, like I want a story. I want more.
I understand that. I just thought it was a lot of fun, and I think it's also a lot of fun because we know that the Lucha Brothers are actually brothers. And we know that Andrade and Rouge are best friends and have had a really long history tagging together. And these two teams have never faced each other before, and they're both awesome in their own ways. I
will say, like, I didn't like the match for a while. I did not like the match. I was just like, oh, this is just a good whatever Lucha match. It wasn't anything that was blowing me away. But then it got to the point when they tied his mask onto the rope, and he took off his mask to save his brother. Yeah. Now, what I would have loved is that if they hadn't done this mask bullshit for the past 3 weeks, where he's removing people's masks. So then this is a moment where he's just like, nobody ever does this. You would never do this to someone. And like, I'm going to take off mine to save my brother. Yeah. Man, would I have loved that?
Well, I did also love, and I've never seen this before. I mean, I guess we've never seen this whole sequence before. He has a second mask, throws it in the ring.
I thought that was the audience threw one.
So Abrahantes slid in a second mask, like a backup mask, which is an interesting idea because if you think about it, they've been doing this for the past few weeks. So he came prepared, had a second mask just in case, and then Andrade throws it into the crowd, and then the crowd starts chanting "Throw it back," which is so cool. It was such a really cool little moment, you know. And Rouge, I didn't know how to feel about Rouge because I'd seen some of his Ring of Honor stuff, but he had like weird opponents. He fought PCO and he fought a couple other guys in matches that I saw, but he's awesome because he's a bruiser.
I like him more than Andrade. Yeah. I think I like his style more. I feel like his style makes a lot more sense and it's less flash and just more impact, which I enjoy.
He may have killed Phoenix at the end of this match with that drop kick. That drop kick in the corner, he may have killed Phoenix.
It was nuts. It was absolutely
scary.
Nuts.
It was scary.
Moses in the chat. Mose writes, Rocky Road Boys here for the good times. Rocky Road Boys here for the good times.
Mose. Why aren't you sending us an email to get on the Discord? I don't understand.
Yeah, Mo, send us an email to get on the Discord. It's loserleaspod@gmail.com.
We got a Discord. It's always going. We're always talking about wrestling.
I'm looking at you, Hex Infinity, as well.
Hex Infinity. What do you?
We haven't said hi yet, but we're gonna get there. Brett says the only thing that made the tornado tag match suck was every 3 minutes commentary explained to us it was a tornado tag. In all honesty, they could have not said it and it would still made the same amount of sense. Brett says, I love the crowd chanting for the fan to throw Penta's mask back.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
Such a good moment.
Jericho was being not Jericho. JR was being a little shit in this match. Yeah, there was this one part when Roosh tied the mask to it, and then they're like he's double knotting it, and he's like, oh god, not because like Taz and Excalibur like, oh, he's double knotting. Oh god, not a double knot. He's being a dick.
What an asshole.
He's being such a dick.
Asshole.
And then halfway through, it just feels like he just spewed out like, this is a train wreck.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did say this is a train wreck, and tried to backtrack by thinking of other words to say because he didn't mean to say train wreck. He does that later with Jade Cargill as well, which I'm sure you have written down. Too.
Yeah, I did. It's just like JR. Come on, that's the stuff I need some tightening with, you know.
Yeah.
But then we get so it was just a good match. Good match. I have nothing else to.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I think the right team won. It builds the right momentum, and now you bring in Dragon Lee next week, and Dragon Lee is Rush's real brother, and the three of them are going to fight the Young Bucks and a mystery opponent to start the 6-man tournament, which is really, really exciting. I'm pumped up for this. You clearly aren't, which is okay.
Actually, I'll say this honestly. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. Well, I'll hold off for a little bit. But I have something positive to say about the trios tournament.
I love it.
Hex Infinity writes, Penta for AEW World Champ. If Penta's a solo, hell yeah.
Yeah.
If Penta's a solo, hell yeah. I don't like him as a tag. I'm saying it right now. Mose writes, the mask spot is old. They ruined the potential. Both of you have great points. Thank you so much, Mose.
I like turtles.
Hex Infinity says Lucha is greater than sports entertainment. I think what you mean is Lucha is sports entertainment.
Get out of here.
It is. I'm sorry. Their entire thing is superhuman, super light. It's sports entertainment. I like. We just have to get rid of the idea that sports entertainment's a bad thing. There's a North American style wrestling. There's Lucha Libre. They're all sports entertainment. Always has been. Always will be. Sports entertainment is just a better, more explainable name than pro wrestling. It just makes more sense.
I hate it. I hate you. I quit the show. I'm done. So does Hex Infinity. We both quit the show.
But they're interchangeable. Pro wrestling and sports entertainment are interchangeable.
It's more about an in-ring style, though. There's a sports entertainment in-ring style.
There's a WWE style.
Yeah.
I think WWE style is heavy on story, but I think sports entertainment, as the umbrella term, is all of pro wrestling. It's the kayfabe term. It's like what the bookers thought in their brain what they were doing for years in Mexico and Japan and North America, everywhere. You know I'm right. This is a win for Red. Let's go. Lucha. Tony writes, you need a JR soundboard, Red. Oh my God. I can't get it. Oh my God.
Now's your time for our son of a bitch.
Bitch. That piece of shit. Come on. There we go.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Okay, we have to keep moving on before shit goes down. I want to hear another thing that's hell freezing over. You know what I thought?
What?
I thought the Young Bucks had a really good backstage segment.
Yeah, put him with Hangman and it's good all of a sudden.
That's nuts. Like, I never said that about them. A good backstage segment?
I thought it was like a teensy bit long.
A teensy bit long, and Matt was a little bit rambly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He just talked a little too much.
Little too much. Honestly, kind of sound like you're about to cry, bro. Like,
which is good. Good.
No, but it's just kind of like in front of the Dark Order. Like, it's just kind of a lot. Like, that's like an in-person conversation. Like, listen, I don't know what happened, but like, there's, I don't know, like Evil Uno's just over your shoulder. Like,
right.
How do you say
10
that
is
shit?
just staring at you. Yeah.
But they say the Young Bucks approach Hangman, who's with the Dark Order. They're just chatting, having some fun, and then they're like, we just wanted to talk to you for a while. We brought Brando over here so he could film it, whatever. But he's like, AEW kind of changed things. We used to be the best. We were so, everything we touched was gold. Everyone loved it. And now,
he said it was like the favorite time of his life, his career.
Yeah. And then AEW just kind of changed things. Yeah, maybe they have become the bad guy. They are the bad guys sometimes. And Matt Jackson's like really pouring his heart out here. And he's like, people say we're a piece of shit. Maybe we are. He's like, when Hangman won the title, when you won the title, that destroyed us, the Young Bucks, because we couldn't be there to celebrate with you, all this stuff. And he wishes he didn't have to do that. And Hangman brings out the good in them, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, the Hangman is this good spirit that just everything, whenever he's alone, he becomes lost. And he feels like he's forgotten that when he was champion, he sucked ass. And then when he was like alone beforehand, he was just drinking all the time. And so, but like when he has friends around, he doesn't suck ass. And he makes other things better. He makes other things better though. I'm trying to say nice things.
You're the only person in the chat on this show who thinks that Hangman sucked as champion.
I know that's not true. But then Young Bucks pitch. They're just like, listen, let's have it. One more shot. Let's us team up together again. The Hung Bucks. And then Hangman's just like, listen, I appreciate what you're saying. I hear you. And I love that you're saying it. And I thank you. And he's like, all that stuff. But he's just like, Dark Order never left. They were there, and they were there with me when I won the championship, and I'm going to be with in their corner when they win this. And I just couldn't be in both corners. I can't do that. So, try and find someone that won't backstab you. He said something along those lines. And then it broke their hearts. It broke their little hearts. And it was a great segment, Roy.
Yeah, it was. It was a great segment. And it's really like next level shit in a lot of ways, in the sense that like a true, genuine, like Hangman isn't just like a wrestler. Like, look, this is as the character. I don't know Hangman the person. I assume based on what I've heard and what I've read, he's a good guy. But like, Hangman isn't just a wrestling babyface. The character Hangman Adam Page is not just like your standard wrestling babyface. He's like a genuinely good person who goes above and beyond. Like, a normal wrestling babyface historically would get that apology after saving his buddies the week before that, and he'd be like, you're right, guys, like, let's get back together. But this guy is like, no. I saved you, and I appreciate everything you're saying, and like, we're cool, everything's good, and I'm happy about that. But these are my friends that have had my back, and I'm not going to abandon them now. Like, that's like next level good guy shit, and I love it.
That hippie cowboy thing just makes sense. Yeah. Like, he's basically a stoner John Cena.
A stoner John Cena.
Genuinely good guy, but just chill.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna chill just a little bit. I'll hang out with the kids, but not every day.
Yeah. I'll go to libraries. I'll read for kids.
Let me read. Like,
I love it. I'll tell people to go vote and get vaccinated. I'll do that. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
but I need me time. I need time for myself. Okay?
I think he's a great point, and so I'm just excited about where this goes. And I think this is Kenny coming back next week.
I mean, it has to be, right? Like, right? Unless it's Brandon Cutler, which I don't think. I feel like there's going to be like a.
They're doing it as a joke. They're doing it as a joke. Like, there's no way that they come out, or they do it with Cutler, and they get to the finals, and the finals, like, he gets beaten up or something. They're gonna go alone, and then Omega comes out.
The only problem with that,
that's cheating. I don't like that actually. As a there should be the solid teams going up.
If it was like a one-off match or something like that, but like, you can't let the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler beat Andrade, Rush, and Dragon Lee. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to get through those three. They're probably gonna have to get through Death Triangle as well, and it's essentially like a handicap match. And the Bucks are gonna beat these great guys, and like, you're gonna make your opponent.
Hey, I have my war paint on. I brought my big shoulder pads on.
Did you see the guys in the front row dressed as Brandon Cutler?
No.
It was so good. They were just these bald white dudes in like leopard print, like multicolored leopard print jumpsuits. There's also a fan of the night had a sign that said Ventura 2024. So
hell yeah, let's go. I also saw Tony Khan free MJF
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Tony writes, Omega returns. It's so obvious now. Well, I hope so. But
also,
writes,
there was also a "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot" sign.
That's actually really good. Mose writes, how is Dark Order going to trim for trios? I'm going to say it's Reynolds, Silver, and
Uno.
I wanted to say Uno, but it's not going to be Uno.
I hope it's Uno.
It's 10 and then Uno in the corner.
And Hangman in their corner.
Which makes Uno feel completely worthless.
Well, I think it's going to be Uno in the match.
I hope so, but I just don't see it happening.
It's Uno.
They like 10 more, I think.
Yeah, he's the future.
Brett says, I hate the Dark Order. I hope the trios tourney doesn't end with the Dark Order versus the Young Bucks and Omega. Oh, it won't.
Well, that's the thing. Not. I don't know.
Do you have the trios tournament bracket?
I don't have the full bracket, but trios tournament AEW.
I got it right here.
Okay.
So we have Death Triangle versus Will Ospreay in the Aussie Open. They're coming back.
Yeah, that's so fun. That's so cool.
Oh my god. Because Will Ospreay at Aussie Open, if they win, and then Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega, because Kenny Omega is trying to dodge Will Ospreay. You know this to be a fact, right? Have you heard about this?
Wait,
okay, but let's.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But let's talk. Whoa. Death Triangle versus the Will Ospreay. I'm saying Death Triangle unless they're trying to do something weird. I'm saying Death Triangle is going over there. Young Bucks are being Andrade, Roosh, and Dragon Lee.
Yeah, for sure.
House of Black. House of Black is going to be Dark Order, of course. You're going to say Dark Order is going to beat House of Black? What?
I'm saying if that happens, Miro will be involved in some way, costing them the match.
I guess. I don't know.
Actually, what's fun? Well, keep going. Let's say House of Black wins.
Wait, what's this? Best Friends versus the Trust Busters?
Trust Busters. Yeah.
Who's that?
They were on TV tonight. You didn't see them?
Those clowns are in this fucking thing?
Isn't that so weird? Why there's always like a spot for some random stupid trio. Or like some random tag team or a random guy. There's always something where it's like, why are these people involved?
The Blackpool Combat Club's not in it? The JAS aren't in it?
Who would you well, see the JAS, that's the true robbery. The Daniel Garcia and 2.0 trio not being in this is the true
They
robbery.
would have a great match against the Best Friends.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Menard's injured.
Is Matt Menard injured?
Yep.
Well, Dante Martin's not injured anymore.
Still injured from that match where he got his head busted open. He had a concussion real bad, and he also tore some things in his shoulder.
Is Matt Menard is the hard nipples or the switchblade?
Hard nipples.
Hard nipples. D'Angelo Angelo is the other one.
Yeah, and first Daddy Magic. But we have to keep talking about this goddamn.
I just think it's good. Best Friends could be in the finals of that. That's all I'm saying. That's what I was thinking.
I don't. So like, who I would want? Honestly, I like the Best Friends in there. I like the Best Friends
against the Bucks.
The Bucks in there. It has to be a heel team. It's House of Black.
It could be. Well, but then what do you do? Like, you're building up Sting and Miro and Darby Allin against House of Black, and you're just going to put them in the finals of this tournament?
They want to have a really special moment with Kenny and the Bucks and all that stuff. Best Friends and Orange Cassidy be a distraction from that.
It's possible. It's possible. I guess you save the Bucks and Kenny versus Undisputed Era for Grand Slam.
I guess that's weird. This is a weird bracket.
Well,
I don't like
also, it. AEW doesn't do anybody any favors by having their biggest pay-per-view of the year, September 4th, and then 2 weeks later, you have your biggest Dynamite of the year in New York, and then 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that, then you do your first ever show in Canada. You have to keep coming up with gigantic fucking matches, and it makes things feel a little less special because you're constantly doing big special things. So they don't do themselves any favor this time of year with these big shows.
But we got some answers here, some questions. I hate the dark. No, Brett says, I want them squashed immediately. Brett says about the Dark Order. Mo says correct, Tony. Not sure what you're referencing. Maybe JR soundboard. Tony writes a cowboy John Cena. That makes more sense than Stoner's John Cena. Just cowboy.
Yeah, cowboy John Cena. Hippie cowboy John Cena. I don't know.
Hippie cowboy stoner John Cena. Mose writes, anyone have a screenshot of the brackets for trios? I think that was before we started talking about it. Tony says, so true, Roy. You can make Rush, Andrade, and Dragon Lee look weak. Either they are big names. You can't. Brett says Dark Order is involved in too many things to last very long in this tournament. Exactly. Yeah, I can't imagine me moving forward. Mo says there were so many new people on tonight. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Brett says Sting, Darby. Well, 3 people all at once that I didn't know existed. Brett, what do we have here? Brett says Sting, Darby, Miro, and triples tournament. Miro, I don't want them just thrown together yet.
Well, no, I mean, but they all make sense. They have a common enemy, but they make sense in a one-off trios match against House of Black, but not necessarily in the tournament.
His only villain is God, and he needs to kill God. Yeah. Tony writes, Ospreay versus Omega is the payoff. Can you imagine that? That'd be a shitty payoff if that's the match of the first match they have. Is that?
I think it would be kind of cool.
I guess it would be because the tension would be nuts. Mose writes, best friends needs gold, but I'm biased as hell. Yeah, they deserve it. Honestly,
they deserve it.
They do deserve it.
Orange Cassidy deserves the TNT title. I don't give a shit about the other two. Orange Cassidy deserves the TNT title.
You're damn right.
I mean, I don't. Right. It's not that I don't give a shit about the best friends. They're good.
No. Say it. You fucking mean it. Love it. Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy's up next. Jungle Boy goes straight to commentary, and they're just like, "Hey, great to have you here, Jungle Boy." He's like, I'm not going to be here long. What are you talking about? Everyone got weirded out by that statement because he was trying to say like, oh, I'm watching a Luchosaurus match, so this isn't going to take long. That whole sentence makes sense. But if you just go out there like, hey, Jungle Boy, great to have you here. I won't be here long. Right, JR? And it was just awkward.
I do like that his theme music played, all the fireworks went off, the audience cheered, and Jim Ross said, hey, Shivani got an upgrade.
JR is good sometimes. Then we get Luchosaurus versus Anthony Henry, and we're done. Luchosaurus
that didn't need to be, this is me nitpicking, this isn't a big deal, but that didn't need to be Anthony Henry's spot. You could have put a local guy in there. Anthony Henry and JD Drake are a tag team in Ring of Honor, and they're a good tag team. You didn't need to put him in here to job in 15 seconds.
Why did this match need to happen at all?
Yeah, right. Jungle Boy could have just walked out to started a promo, and Christian could have cut him off. Would have been. I
thought this was going to be the start of something else. Yeah. I thought there was going to be some like an angle run here, but no, it wasn't, because Christian goes on the screen after he wins. He's like, I was going to walk out there and slap the shit out of Jungle Boy, but he decided not to because I'm just going to talk shit instead. And then Jungle Boy runs out and overreacts completely.
He didn't. I loved that this segment awkwardly ended with Jungle Boy saying, check on him, and then running away because Luchasaurus headbutted the agent.
Lord, he headbutted. Oh yeah, he headbutted Pat Buck.
Pat Buck. Yeah.
Pat Buck. Next up, we have Miro in the back. And he's being tempted by
I also
Julie
thought
Hart.
this was weird as well.
Being tempted into the dark side. He's like, there's only one woman that could touch my body or something like that. And he's like, I'm taking your gift, House of Black, but I'm using it against you. Like, what does that mean?
That means he's coming for him. He's going to use their bad energy and their bad whatever that they've put inside of his body to take them down and destroy them.
I hope so. I wish they were all gone. No, I don't. I just hate this gimmick.
What, you hate the Redeemer?
No, I hate the House of Dark Shadows. It's the Black Shadow Mist, Misty Shadows.
Yeah, the Wicked is better. What's the name of that group with Finn Balor?
Dark Norse God. What?
Finn Balor's group. What's the name of that?
Judgment Day?
Of the Retribution.
My squirrel, that's my mad scientist.
We got to keep this fucking show going, bro. You're trying to halt it.
You're trying to fucking
halt it.
We're making
that's our show.
What is that?
Broken. Mark Henry's in the back with Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh no.
And he's like, Hobbs, are you done with Ricky Starks? And QT's like, oh, hold your horses here. No one's done with anybody until I say they're done. And he starts talking like, he's like, don't worry about it, Hobbs. I'm going to go clean up Ricky Starks. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Like a fresh parmesan on your spaghetti, yeah?
Your spaghetti mazzole, your macabool. And he said,
why? Like, he's been dressing like Tony Soprano for a year. And when he was feuding with Cody, they did vignettes where he went to a therapist and they did complete blatant ripoffs of him as Tony Soprano. Why now, a year later, are they finally doing like an Italian accent and everybody's doing the Italian thing and the caveman is dressed in like a velour jumpsuit? What is happening?
Better late than never, Roy. Honestly, this is the most entertaining I've seen them at all. Yeah. This is the only time I've ever cared about them. So it's working.
Tell you what, whatever that fucking guy's name is, the idiot that wrestled Ricky Starks a couple weeks ago that got fired for failing a drug test from the WWE. He's in a good place in the factory because I never want to see him wrestle. I never want to hear him talk.
Cole Sporker or something like that?
Yeah, Sporker.
Yeah, Cole Sporker. Yeah, well, Hobbs says, yeah, hey, don't let your problem become my problem. You know, I like
which
that.
Was good.
Good job,
nice
Hobbs.
Job, Hobbs.
Yeah, it's looking like a real person in a sea full of clownfish. Yeah. Then we got Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh coming out.
So good.
And then Sanjay's like, look what we did to Wardlow at Battle of Belts. Did you see that?
I actually, I thought I recorded it. I didn't record it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's there. It's on Slim.
I'm gonna watch it. I heard the opening match. I heard all three matches were good, if not great.
You heard that?
Yeah, I did hear that. You don't agree?
I forget what they are right now. Okay. But I will say that Jay Lethal Wardlow was good. Ending beatdown was hard to watch.
Because it was bad, or because they were really beating the shit out of Wardlow?
Because Satnam doesn't know how to do a thing.
You know what's funny? Was it Sanjay, who was so funny, said like when this guy picks you up, you're 20 feet up in the air. If he does pick you up with his height, and you're at like you could be about 9 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
legitimately 9 to 10 feet off the ground.
He's at 20 feet.
It was just also so funny.
That's very funny. But so Sanjay says they're not done with him. Lethal says he wants one more match with him for that title. Otherwise, he's going to go back there and take it. Now here comes Wardlow, and he's wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Why? I thought he's supposed to be a badass.
Yeah,
but he
just
comes
don't wear
out
a shirt.
Wearing jobber gear. That's literally Sunday Night Heat gear. He looks like Biohazard. He looks like the War Horse, whatever they're called.
What are you telling me?
What's that guy's name that was trying to be Ultimate Warrior?
He's wearing a suit.
He looks like the
what
way
are you talking about?
He wrestles in the Renegade outfit, and he wears this dumb Evolution jacket. He has no idea who he is. He has no idea who he is.
He just should never wear a shirt. The thing is, he's no longer a bodyguard. He's not a hired gun. He's his own man. And as his own man, he doesn't need to wear a suit all the time. He's like, I'm not under MJF's control anymore, but I like the clothes he bought me, so I'm going to keep wearing them. Wear some jeans and no shirt. You're in the Union. Remember the Union? How they all wear the blue, except Mick Foley, wore the blue jeans and no shirt? That's what he should be wearing. Remember the Union? The stable, the Union, one of the worst stables of all time.
What's
the Union? Ken Shamrock, Big Show, Mankind.
Oh, sure, to face the corporation.
Val Venus, maybe.
to get Rock's job back or something like that.
Yeah, and then they did that again in WCW, but it was MIA, the Misfits in Action.
Oh, that's dumb.
It was terrible.
Yeah, Wardlow. I'm just saying they should never have broke him up with Sean Spears, because I think him and Sean Spears as a buddy cop type dynamic, where Sean Spears is the guy with the clamps, and then Wardlow's the big muscle, you know. But Wardlow comes out and he's about to go to town, but then FTR comes out, and now I'm starting to get the fun of trios.
Yes,
like, that would be the idea if it's done well, but the idea of seeing these fun mashups of like your favorite tag team with a good wrestler that makes sense to them. Of course, FTR and CM Punk should be the trios.
And I think that will happen at some point.
Oh God, it's so hot in here. I can't have my window open because that's the whole thing. It's so hot. I need the air conditioning and I can't hear. You slowly seeing me dying here.
You want a big bottle of water? Drink some water.
So smart. Kind of wish Tony writes, kind of wish Christian smashed Luchosaurus with chair shots. That'd be pretty fun. Mo says, cool. I almost want Sting to join the House of Black. Almost. What are your thoughts on that, Roy?
Sting would need to be like the grandfather in some way. Like Sting can't be second fiddle to Malachi Black, but Malachi Black also can't be second fiddle to Sting. So I ultimately don't think it's a great pairing, but I think it's
that's actually sounds pretty cool. Yeah. Brooklyn Blake says Camarado wearing the same outfit from last week. I don't know why, but it's funny to me. Yeah, you can't afford
it is very funny. It is very funny.
Do you know how hard it is to wash velour? Brett says it's like Tony doesn't trust them to do anything but wrestle on their own. Who are we talking about? Which guy?
Yeah, who are you talking about?
I'm not sure who you're talking about, Turbs. Yeah. We have to keep going, Roy, because I'm dying. Why don't I just go turn on the goddamn air?
Turn on the goddamn air conditioner.
Just turning it on. Sorry, everyone. Can you hear it?
No.
You hear it.
Keep it on. Cool yourself down.
Okay. Then we have the JAS in the back, Roy.
Yeah.
We have the JS in the back and says that Chris is going to win. This is the bullet points where Chris is going to win. They're going to have a big party with a lot of bubbly. Daniel Garcia is the Dragon Slayer. For some reason, he just threw that in there. And then Anna Jay just starts choking someone out, which I love. Honestly, I'm loving this Anna Jay thing more and more because it's just like she hasn't found it yet, but at least she's doing something interesting. And yeah. I agree with you on that.
I love it. It's sports entertainment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it is sports entertainment.
Yeah, sports entertainment in like a gimmicky way.
Sure, whatever you say.
Like they're stable.
That's sports entertainment. That's what I'm just thinking Frank Sinatra. Like that's life. Roy, I'm not trying to antagonize you, but I am trying to tell you about Ricky felt insulted that QT talked. Wait, what? Ricky insulted QT. Oh, Ricky was insulted that QT even tried to talk to him. And he says Aaron Solo is his old friend. We're getting to the Aaron Solo Ricky Starks match,
which was like a very fun thing for people who followed Texas Indies because they tagged a lot on the Texas Indies.
I don't remember Aaron Solo at all when we were going.
So I don't either, but I did see them wrestle at Wrestle Circus. They tagged it. So in the match when they were talking about it, and they were like, oh, they fought the Gorillas of Destiny. They fought the Lucha Brothers. They fought... This was all, from what I remember, this was all at Wrestle Circus. They wrestled all these tag teams. Roppongi Vice. They wrestled Roppongi Vice at Wrestle Circus. Like, they wrestled all these guys there.
Interesting. Well, they have a match, and Carl Sporker's out there, grabs Ricky Starks and gets booted. I forgot he existed. Yeah. Ricky looks great. I do think that this is his first real match as a face. Try not to taunt so much. Because it's making it less special. Because when you pull that out, when you do something really cool or do something really fun, then pull that out. It's great. If you keep doing it, it's going to be bad, and I'm not going to like it anymore.
Sure.
But he gets a quick win on Aaron Solo. Then Camarado comes down and with the chair, and he gets spine busted by Ricky. Then Ricky's about to leave, and then he sees QT and he runs away. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love the fact he ran away because he's not taking everyone out. That's what Ricky would do. Ricky's not changing who he is. He's just like, I'm smart. I'm not going to go fight 7 guys at once.
Yeah, and he tried. He fought off as many as he could, but when more came down, he was like, I'm outnumbered. I'm out of here.
Yeah, loved it. But what else do we got here? We get Lexi in the back with the Gun Club. And Billy's giving him a talking to. He's just like, you ruined the only match I'm known for. And then Stokely comes and he's like, hey, okay, Grandpa ass, get over there.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys have
a bottle of insurance and catering?
And but you need someone to really represent you. And maybe I could do that. And he's just like, yes, you have a lot of funny jokes, but it's about to be your not funny day or something. I don't know what he said. He said something outside, but it was cool, fine.
Yeah.
But then Danhausen shows up and he says he's going to fight them on Friday.
With a big bearded fellow, and I didn't know who the fuck he was talking about until the end of the show.
I don't think Tony knew until it was said. He's just like, I better get Eric. But we're going to have that match, which is whatever. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Taz, Hook will get involved in some way, probably.
I hope so. Maybe that's the new trios that we want. Now we get Tony is in the back with Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy wanted to show him something really special. He's like, take a look at this. And he just starts high-fiving the best friends. And that was really funny. Then a group of 3 people come up and they start talking like we know who they are and we know what they're doing.
Yes.
Because apparently they had some big conversation with Orange Cassidy. They just had it in the broom closet and they forgot to invite anyone in there. Because we've never seen these people before.
Okay, so let's take a second and talk about who these people are.
I immediately, as I was writing it down, I had Moet just be like, who the hell are these guys? Uncle Moet. Yeah, give it up for Uncle
How's Uncle Moet doing? Have you talked to Uncle Moet?
Oh, Uncle Moet's doing good. I just talked to him today. He's doing, yesterday.
Is he going to WrestleMania?
No, he gave me a flat no. And I get it.
I understand that. So, leading the way is Ari Daivari, who is Arya Daivari, who is Sean Daivari's little brother.
Yeah, I know Arya Daivari. Yeah. After I found out later in the night, like at the end of that, they're like, "Oh, Arya Daivari." The commentators did their job then.
Yeah, and then the big man, their enforcer, Brock Lesnar Jr. That's Parker Bordeaux.
I know Parker Bordeaux
in NXT for a period of time.
No, I'm not denying that these people are actually credible, talented people. It's just that they never ever explained who they are, why they're here. Why, like, did this happen on Dark? When did this happen?
I've never seen it. I've just read about the fact that yes, they've been together on Dark, and Tony Khan seems to like them together. The other guy, by the way, is Slim J.
Yeah, we got a comment in here. I'll go about Slim J. Brett says Sting looks brutal, but he is not brutal enough for House of Black. Oh, interesting.
Sure.
Not brutal enough. Brooklyn Bleak says, like Regal's position in the Blackpool Combat Club to Sting in House of Black. Interesting, Brooklyn Bleak. And welcome, Brooklyn. Did we say hi to you before, Brooklyn Bleak? I don't know.
We have.
Brett says a lot of mid-card stables are just copy-paste versions of whatever stable Jericho's running at the moment. It bothers me. Terms. Come on, that's not true.
That's a little too critical, if you ask me.
Brett says the factory sucks. Honestly, they're getting better. But this is getting better.
Yeah,
they're in the right direction. Tony writes, Slim J is Red's new favorite wrestler. Haha. Who's Slim J?
I don't know why that would be, but Slim J was in NWA Wildside in the late 90s, early 2000s. He wrestled with AJ Styles and Abyss. Like, they were all part of the same kind of company, part of NWA. I don't know where he's been for 20 years. But he basically, in 2000, 2001, 2002, he had an Eminem gimmick where he had like dyed blonde hair and he just wore baggy pants. And that's why he was Slim J. But now this, I don't know where he's been. But I actually don't even know if he can still go. I assume he can. But
I just hate how they introduce these people. I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they're talented, whatever. Yeah. But it's just really annoying.
Yeah, sure. I would give me a video package. If Ari Daivari says his like inheritance has come in or something and he's the richest professional wrestler in the world or something, give me a video package of how rich he is.
Let me see something. It's upsetting. Yeah. Next up though, Roy, we get Madison Rayne versus Jade Cargill.
Yes.
And a match that I was very excited for.
Sure.
I had some issues though.
Yeah.
What do you think of the match?
I thought they worked hard. I think Jade needs more seasoning. I think if she doesn't wrestle for a few weeks in a row, she gets a little out of sync. She gets a little out of whack. So it takes her a little bit to get warmed back up. I thought Madison Rayne did what she had to do, but it felt like Madison Rayne was slowing down so Jade could keep up with her, and it caused a couple of problems. I'll tell you what, the cameras, the director did a good job of cutting at the right time to try to hide the fact that Jade wasn't really making a lot of contact on a lot of her kicks and punches and stuff. But
I honestly think that like everything was going along swimmingly for a while. It was like a good match. And then I think like halfway through it was a long match. Madison got winded. And because she got winded, Jade was thrown off. She's just like, oh my God. And like her timing just crashed and burned. Everything was out. Like there was this boot to Kiera Hogan that completely missed. And Kiera, bless her heart, is green as grass. And she sold it.
What's she supposed to do? Yeah.
Yeah, and it just got very sloppy towards the end, but we get a Jaded and a win. Madison Rayne, very smart, very good, talented person. She hasn't had as many reps in her as she needs, to be at this part.
Well, it's been
too long.
It's been a long time since she's been a wrestler, like a full-time wrestler. So
like, it's just, you need, like, I almost wish that she didn't, train for that with them a while before jumping in, I don't know, just to get, because it wasn't a good look.
Well, it's just too long. It was just too long.
It was too long.
You could have made it 3 minutes less at least.
Yeah. Brooklyn Bleak says, Slim J wrestles on Dark and Elevation, but what about Jason Cross? Bring him back.
Wow, Jason Cross. Another guy from that early 2000s class who was part of TNA. And if I know one thing about Brooklyn Bleak, not Matt Cross, Son of Havoc, they should bring in Son of Havoc. He would actually be a better
There's a great picture of Uncle Moet with Son of Havoc. Definitely one of him with Taya Valkyrie in a singlet. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, I think every time Moet calls me, that's the picture that comes out.
Him getting an arm wringer.
Yeah.
Arm wrench.
She loved it. She had fun with that, right?
Oh, she loved it. Yeah, they all did. There was a crew of people that really loved us. John Morrison, Taya, and Matt Cross. And Tommy Dreamer wanted to kill us. Billy Gunn refused to look Moet in the eyes. Carlito thought it was pretty funny.
Didn't Kurt Angle also hate it?
Kurt Angle wasn't there.
What? I have an autographed photo of Kurt Angle, or did. I don't anymore. Well, you came back from that event with autographed photos of Kurt Angle and Buff Bagwell, and I put them up in the office.
Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Do you remember Buff?
I remember stuff. Yeah. he fought Carlito that night, and boy, did he walk like a 2x4. We got some things here. Most says better than most, but her cells are always the same. She holds her boobs or jaw. I'm not sure what that means, Bo.
Jade.
Brett that says Madison sucks. Feels like 2008 TNA again. She ruined the beautiful people. I'm not too familiar, so I can't even be a good.
Interesting. Who said that?
Turbs.
Turbs.
Turbs says I'm a hater tonight. Jade has more trust in her wigs each week than I have trust in anything. I don't know. She looks great.
She looks fucking great.
Looks fucking dope, dog.
Yeah.
Mose writes, the sad part is that Stats story, and now I'm brokenhearted that she is injured yet again.
I wonder if she's actually injured.
Well, that's a good question.
She wrestled last week.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened.
But in a match on Dark too, so it's not like it was competitive. She just squashed somebody.
That might have been a pre-taped.
Maybe.
But
I think that was a setup. I really do believe that was a setup this whole time to get Tony and Thunder Rosa in a rematch. Like I don't think.
I like it though. We'll talk about that.
Chris Stat should start doing 1997 Bret Hart, where she comes out and she's like, "They're trying to screw me. I'm always getting screwed by this company." Because remember when she did that weird thing where she was like, "Don't know why I'm not wrestling tonight."
Yeah, but that vague.
She's gonna push. She can't push Tony Khan down, so she's gonna push Aubrey Edwards down and be like, "This is bullshit. Trying to screw me." That's what she's gonna do. And then instead of like Canada versus America, it's the Andromeda Galaxy versus America.
Don't bring her back to that. She just left that bullshit. JR mentions at the end something about barbecue sauce.
Yeah, he said the mat would have tasted better with some of JR's barbecue sauce.
Very good, JR. And then Athena attacks Jade, beats the shit out of her.
Which was great.
Awesome. Yeah. Grabs the belt and holds it high. Very exciting. I want to see that match. Yeah.
She's got to beat her.
You got to beat her. Then we get Tony in the back with Thunderstorm, Roy. Thunderstorm, ever heard of him? Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. And mentions the thing about Chris Statlander being injured. We'll have to verify whether that's true. But it says that Tony Storm is the new #1 contender. And Rosa's like, this is not how it's supposed to go. Tony Storm's like, it's not how it's supposed to go at all. They're being very hammy with it. But she's like, you're my best friend, but I do want that championship one day. And she's like, not now, though. Which I'm actually excited for this little angle here where they're just like friends, they're tagging, they're trying to take care of business. And then she's just like, yeah, what about that time? She's like, oh yeah, sure. After the pay-per-view, we'll talk about it. Right. And then like, it just never happens. It's like, listen, you're dodging me now, you know? And I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Some comments here. Brett says, Jade looks great, but I'm worried every time she flips her hair up that the wig is going to fly off. You could see on her face once in a while she's worried too. They have the best hairstylists in the world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried about it.
I am worried a little bit about like her gear. Like I feel like she's always kind of adjusting her gear. Like I'm a little worried that she isn't as comfortable in her gear as
no. Well, the thing is, she wants to show off, and I get it. You work really hard for that, but like the thing is, like it doesn't seem physics has to play a part too.
Yeah, right.
And like some of your gear is bound to bust.
Right. Well, also this was one of those things where JR put his foot in his mouth like a fucking idiot.
What did he say?
In the beginning. Well, he said, as Jade was making her entrance, he said, "Fellas, I had a chance backstage to walk past the champion here. Words cannot describe how big she is. What I mean to say is she's imposing. She's imposing."
You could have stopped that big she is, because like I think we got very tall. You're the only one that's thinking like, oh, they're gonna think I'm talking about her tits. Like,
and then like he called her a Clydesdale, which like instead of calling her a thoroughbred, which is like I think fine.
A Clydesdale is the big chompy one, the big teeth.
He's just so stupid.
We got to keep moving on, Roy. We have to keep going.
No one has anything to say. Okay.
No one has anything to say about that. But wait, no. Brett said JR also called her a thoroughbred. Look at this Pinto in the ring. We come into the main event, Roy.
Yeah.
We're here. Lionheart, Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. What'd you think of the Lionheart thing throughout?
I thought it was fucking great. I thought this whole thing was fucking great. My brother on the Discord, hey, send us an email. Join the Discord.
Send us an email. Join the Discord.
We're never going to do anything with it. We couldn't keep up a Patreon. You think we're going to send you a marketing email? Get the fuck out of here.
Lord, we don't even know how to send. We can't send mass emails. We don't send two.
Jeez Louise.
If I need to email you and someone else, I send two separate emails.
And then, that's so funny. I thought this match was fucking awesome. My brother said that this was Jericho's best match in AEW. I don't know if that's true yet. I have to think. But this may have been his best singles match in AEW. This was fucking great. Yeah. It was really great.
He worked super hard.
It's just incredible that, like, he was really fun and entertaining and, like, a good wrestler in the beginning of his run and then got really bad for a period of time and is now suddenly really fucking good again. Because his match last week with Yuta was also really good. And his match against Eddie was really good. Like, not the barbed wire match. Not the barbed wire match.
But he got lazy during that time. After he won the championship, he's just like, I'm just going to let my free ride keep going. And I think the comments about his weight and his age got to him. He's just like, and then he's just like, start working out, be more serious about this again. And he's like, now he's back onto a great level.
And it was over 50 and just fucking killing it.
Great match. That starts off with, a little technical wrestling and him ripping out Moxley's earring.
Yeah.
And he bladed his ear.
Did he blade his ear?
He had. What do you think?
I don't know.
Did you see any ketchup packets anywhere?
No, but like maybe he did make him bleed. Maybe he ripped his earring out and made him bleed.
No, because like that part of the ear, you could rip that ear off and it's not going to bleed. He bladed honest, because Foley's talked about this a bunch of times, because he's like, his ears never bleed. Like he's done that thing where where ear injuries don't bleed. It's when it's like on the neck. He cut his neck, and that's why it was gushing.
Ugh. Also, by the way, side note, the Beach Blast
or
92
Chic maybe or something.
The Beach Blast 92 Foley podcast, great, fantastic. Haven't finished it yet, but it's really wonderful.
I've actually took a break from podcasts for a little bit because of projects I'm working on. We got to talk about. So we get that. A lot of bleeding throughout, as per the usual. But it's a good match. It's a good match, really good match. It's an amazing match. And really Jericho, like stretching him constantly, being out technical, out maneuvering him because he's from the dungeon.
But also pulling out his classic drop kicks. Yeah, pulling out he does the figure 4 around the ring post, which I think is really fun and interesting because when Brett was doing that move, the ring post was circular. Now it's square. So it makes it a little more difficult, and it actually probably hurts Moxley more because the turnbuckle is bigger. And
interesting.
More
I didn't
pointed.
think of that.
Yeah.
I never even think about that. That makes sense. But he did it right, and he didn't fall on the back of his head.
Yeah, I saw that too. Good job, Mox. Way to hold
Good
the
job,
foot.
Mox. Good job, Jericho. Great job execution. But then we get, you know what ruins things? Sammy Guevara.
Unbelievable.
He's taking off the turnbuckles to distract Aubrey, right? He's taking off the turnbuckles. Sammy throws in, was that a wrench or a bat?
It was his bat. And he completely missed him.
Airs it, and you see Sammy's face like, oh no.
Yeah, like I'm a fucking idiot.
It bounces right out of the ring. Jericho runs out to get it, runs back in. Aubrey's just like, oh, they must have already did the move. I could turn back around. I'm good. Nails John Moxley. She sees it, turns around, starts talking to someone on the outside because the calamity of errors. Ty and Sammy cannot be trusted to do anything.
Nothing.
That's
Zero.
not directly involving themselves.
Right. Yes. Completely.
The minute you give them a key or a bat, all of a sudden it's Laurel and Hardy. It's like it's a Benny Hill thing, like with a juggling the bat.
Yeah.
Benny Hill music.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna be Sammy, and I'm gonna be Ty.
Okay. Now it's nice. Nice recovery.
But the match ends with by the way, Jericho's just gassed at that point.
Well, so he's gassed and he hits his head.
Now he's bleeding.
And that was real.
Yeah.
And I think it's real because he was shocked. Like he kept having his hand over it because he couldn't believe that was what was happening.
He got opened up, and then he goes for, there's this whole sequence, a sloppy sequence, but it was still good because they were exhausted.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to get a headlock, and he reverses it into a lion tamer, and then Moxley gets out of it. They go to a crossface, and they keep swirling around to the point where he gets him into the chokehold. He gets him into the rear naked choke, pulls him down, and Jericho's on the ground. But then all of a sudden he starts waking up. He's decided. And then
he taps.
Perfect tap.
Yeah.
Perfect tap.
Yeah.
And then Taz and Excalibur, you can't get out of this. You gotta get out of this. And he's just like, there's like a small ray of hope that something was gonna happen. And just a brilliant psychology.
Really great.
Masterwork. And that's the match. And we got Moxley winning. And that's the end of the night, folks. The end of the night. Nothing else
then
happened.
Just turned the show off, and that was it. I was done.
That was everyone's weekend. But after that, the Jericho Appreciation Society starts beating on Mox. Mox friends come out and they start all rumbling. But JS is taking advantage of really showing the numbers. And then all of a sudden, CM Punk's music hits.
Yeah.
Punk's music hits.
The building starts shaking.
He runs out, clears house, so worried about every step he took that he wasn't going to shatter anything. And he knocks everyone out. He goes onto the second rope. I was like, you're going to flip right over your old man. Stop it. But he doesn't. And then he gets back down. And then he turns around, and there's just Moxley sitting there, just being like, stop fucking chanting his name. Like, he's like, CM Punk, and he's just like, all right. Did you see Moxley? Just gonna be like, okay, come on, we can stop it now. And then he slowly gets up. The way Moxley turned around was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, because like Moxley his character always shines through. He'll never, ever drop it. Because a lot of it is just him. Like, he's that guy in school. Like, he was this way in high school.
Yeah.
And it was so annoying in high school. It's just like, you piece of shit. You're doing this you want to be this person so bad that you're chewing gum. Whoa, you want to fight me or something? Like, just like wiggly, super wiggly. And now he's just doing it. And it's just like, because it's wrestling, it makes sense. Turns right into CM Punk. He's just like, I don't give a fuck. My name's Dean Ambrose. Maybe you heard of me. But too many middle fingers tonight.
A lot
way
of middle
too
fingers.
many. Yeah, it's the point where he gave that middle finger at then, and no one cared.
Yeah.
No one cared.
No one was gonna care regardless because CM Punk was there.
But we would have gotten ooh.
Yeah. I loved when he left and got out of the ring and he just like chest bumps Claudio and he's like, yeah.
I like that too.
I loved that.
I love that. I love the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Tam is in the chat.
Tam's in the chat.
Tammy Kaboom.
Tammy Kaboom's here.
Watch your ears, Roy.
Kaboom!
That's Tammy Kaboom. Tam writes, the truth is that we at LLW skipped school when they taught emails.
Very true.
Daddy, chill.
Good job, Daddy. Brett says Lionheart rocked hard, but I wish they didn't cut to picture-in-picture for the 3 minutes walls of Jericho that he had locked in. Yeah. That was honestly some of these commercial breaks, man. They are poor timed.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do when there's so much action constantly? You want to try to hold your audience to the best of their ability. So like you kind of.
I'm glad that AEW doesn't put that much control on the matches because they'll probably like, hey, we're going to commercial, but they won't like, hey, go to this spot so we could go to commercial. You know?
Yeah. The other thing you have to remember too is that the audience, the European audience, Smoyes, watches this on Fight TV. So they don't watch it. So they don't have commercials. So what we're seeing in picture-in-picture, they get the whole show. I mean, think about that. You basically get a 2-hour pay-per-view every week. There's no commercials. There's commentary throughout the commercial breaks. And that's because I've watched a couple of those cuts, and it's just like, oh, well, about go to picture-in-picture. And then they're silent for like 15 seconds.
And then all of a sudden, you just hear Jericho.
You didn't want to play a fart noise?
I wouldn't do it long enough, you know. That's an Excalibur fart. Like this is a JR. That's a JR fart. We got Brett says felt like Jericho color we saw at the end was real. He could have bladed, but blood was like gushing on it to Moxley.
He did not blade. That was real, and that they even put a rag on it after the match because it was so much.
Hex Infinity writes Punk versus the British Combat Club is compelling, but Punk should not win a 1v4. Oh no, they should never do a 1v4. But like,
no, I love it. CM Punk versus the 4 toughest dudes in AEW, and he beats them all handedly.
One of what he should have done. Hex Infinity has a great idea when he was being all cool. Like Moxley in his face, and Punk was just standing there. Hex says, should have gave him a smooch. And that would have been dope. Yeah. Just kiss him on the forehead. Thought that would get so under Moxley's skin.
Yeah.
Because it reminded him of his dad. What?
I would love Punk and FTR versus Danielson, Moxley, and Claudio.
Yeah.
Give me that 6-man.
Danielson, I love that. Hex Infinity writes, good insight on the European perspective, Roy.
Oh, thank you.
And then writes wet fart. Oh, he's my favorite wrestler too. It's Fat Bret Hart. It's wet fart.
I forgot about Fat Bret.
Brett says, now that Punk is back, I wonder when MJF pops back in. Honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, you know when?
When?
Arthur Ashe.
Sure. I did, it's funny. I was looking for the Trios tournament, and I saw something from August 10th, which is today, on Wrestle Talk, where Dave Meltzer stated that everyone in AEW believes MJF will make a return at some point, but no one knows for sure.
I'm saying if they don't do it, Arthur Ashe, that's ridiculous. That's his home place. That place would lose it.
Yeah.
We have to. Brett says, now that Punk is back, I wonder when MJF pops back. Oh, yeah, we already wrote that. Brett says, maybe after Punk unifies the belts.
I also thought, like, my prediction.
Is Punk unifying the belts?
I think so. I think Punk's unifying the belts, if only to lose the belts to MJF.
I don't think they're going to do MJF Punk for the championship. I think they did. I think that, like, I don't think his brain works that way.
Who?
Tony Khan. I think the reason Kenny Omega and Paige had that long standing thing where they had a bunch of matches, tagged, all that stuff is because of them. I think that Tony Khan is just like, I want him versus Bryan Danielson.
I think Tony Khan looks at the CM Punk MJF feud and looks at it as the best storyline AEW has done.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And maybe it's too early to revisit that. Maybe it's a little too early. But, that's all roads lead there. Even to the point where after MJF lost to CM Punk at the pay-per-view in that dog collar match, MJF, you remember what he said?
in that promo, the next Dynamite, where he was like, I will follow you to your grave, and when you die before me, I will be at your funeral, and I will be laughing. He's going to follow him for the rest of his life, and I think that's kind of what they're going to be tied to each other forever.
That's okay. I like that actually a lot. Mose writes, I really need Ring of Honor to go live and separate the population badly. Yep.
Sure.
Good point.
Sure.
Brett says one of MJF's sticking points in his promo was CM Punk and the WWE Invaders or whatever.
Very true. And now he can be like, I get paid like you, but I'm going to show you that I'm better than you, and you know it.
MJF and Punk are tied together for as long as they're in the same company. Okay. Well, let's see. But boy, what fun we had today, Roy. Wow. So dominant. Everyone have a great night. Thank you so much, Loser Lee's Wrestling. Follow us everywhere.
Send us an email. We want to add you to the Discord. loserleavespod@gmail.com. LOSERLEAVESPOD@gmail.com. Send us an email. We'll send you a link to our Discord. Join our Discord. We would love to talk to you about professional wrestling all the time, not just on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
We have Brett saying LLW. I sent an email, motherfuckers. Hell yeah. We're going to look. We're going to do it. All right, dogs. You all have a great night. My name is Red. I'm here with Roy, and we're going to say good night.
Bye.
Give some countdown, Roy.
Bye. 5, 4, 4, 4, 3.
We are. We're not on commercial break yet.
2-1.
We're not on commercial break yet, JR.
Ole. Ole.